Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles, and I welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we have an interesting episode for you guys. You definitely want to stick around for us, so make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, one of the things you hear many NBA fans complain about today is the way that the game is played. Believe it or not, a lot of NBA fans have a lot of opinions on the way the NBA kind of runs today. Some fans believe that the game is skewed towards offense, and defense seems to be discouraged. And now that in the NBA you can't hand check, they've softened the rules so that offensive players have the freedom of movement to move wherever they want on the court. If you recently listened to a video that we produced, maybe you heard the comments of Draymond Green when he was talking to Kyle Kuzma when he was analyzing the Chicago Bulls. He was talking about someone catching the ball at the high mid post, and then somebody would back cut right behind him to flash. It would just basically flash under the paint. And he was talking about how there was no spacing, right? But in today's NBA, everything is opened up. And I personally think, if I'm giving you my personal opinion, I enjoy basketball. I enjoy the basketball today. The only thing is, I just think it's a chuckathon, a 3-point chuckathon. Like, it's just basically a bunch of teams shooting 3-point shots for 48 minutes. And after a while, it gets kind of boring to watch a 3-point shooting contest for 48 minutes. Some people think it's entertaining, but to me, it's just like one of these things where you're watching a game, and if a team builds a lead, you're like, okay, this team is working hard to build a lead, and in 5 minutes or 3 minutes, the game is close again because of the 3-point shot. So that's just something I personally don't enjoy. I mean, I like the 3-point shot, but I wish the game was a little bit more balanced, where you can watch some, guys driving to the basket. I like to see the mid-range shot. That's why I like players like Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, guys like that, DeMar DeRozan, and these guys that have mastered the mid-range shot. Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant. These guys are really enjoyable to watch. And also you have guys that are 3-point specialists. I like when basketball has more variety instead of just watching 3-pointer after 3-pointer after 3-pointer. The majority of these guys are taking bad shots. But the NBA is a copycat league, and everyone is trying to replicate what the Golden State Warriors have. So everyone is going to pretty much copy what they're doing. And if you go back maybe an era before, it was about having two twin towers. They were having two 7-footers. If you look at the Lakers, the Celtics, the Spurs, that was a formula to win championships. So that's what it is. But it seems like one person is disgusted with this current era of basketball, and that one person is Shaq, right? And Shaq was recently on the big podcast, and he has some pretty strong comments to make about this current crop of NBA players. So for those of you who didn't hear what Shaq had to say, take a listen to what Shaq had to say here, and then we're going to come back and unpack it. So take a listen to what Shaq had to say here.
Yep. This is another social media question. What's your opinion on NBA rules changing every season? Is it developing or hurting the game?
I think it's hurting the game. It's an old saying, if it's not broke, do not fix it. I think guys are more athletic, more talented, have far more shooting range, but I think a lot of times these rule changes because people are complaining. Mm-hmm. Like when I was in the league, he's standing there too long, 3 seconds, let's change the rule. Okay, in order to get him out, we'll allow you to front him and back him. We'll allow you to hack us. Like, it's just a lot of guys complaining and whining rather than just playing the game. I'm glad I'm mentioned in the original aliens of this earth. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, yes. It's a lot of guys being mentioned now, and only a few you can pick from this dimension and bring them in. LeBron, Steph, guys like that. But I'm mentioned with the old aliens. So I kind of, like people always, oh, you hating. It's not that I'm hating. I wish I was playing with these buttercups right now. I wish I was. I promise you I wish I was playing. Oh.
When you say buttercups, it cracks me up.
Yeah.
The one rule that I do think, and I don't think that they call it correctly at all time, but I do like the one that they changed it, like the clear out rule. Cause you do see, you would see like the offensive minded guards and shooting guards just clearing people out right and left and never getting that called.
Well, the referee has to pay better attention.
Yeah.
Referee has to pay.
But that benefits a big man. That benefits you all more.
Yeah, but, real players don't need benefits because we're going to, whatever the rules are, we're going to abolish those rules anyway. We're going to not abide by those rules, do our own thing anyway.
Now, you heard what he had to say. And I think it's safe to say this isn't the first time Shaq has said something like this. We recently did a show, maybe about a week or two ago, where we covered the comments that Shaq made about players today being too whiny, right? And the backdrop of that conversation stems from him kind of paying homage and remembering the life of the late great Bill Russell. And he was talking about the conversations that he used to have with him. He also said that was the first big man that was actually really nice to him. But he just sat back and he was kind of retroactively analyzing the challenges that Bill Russell had to face. And then when he juxtaposed those realities with his, realities at the time, he said, you know what, I'm just going to stop whining, right? So this isn't the first time that Shaq has had some strong comments about the current crop of NBA players. But if you heard him, you heard him say it. That he said it would be barbecue chicken. Now, it's worth saying, if Shaq played in the NBA today, it would be ugly out there, because there's no way you can guard him. You can't officiate him, and he would just. There's no like. Shaq would foul out your entire team, and if you didn't have somebody to deal with him, he would just. He would totally destroy you. And some people say, really? But with the 3-point shot, well, my brother, if you want to go through the percentages for those for the analytics geeks out here, I think all of us will agree a shot closer to the basket has a higher percentage of going in than shots at the 3-point line. So if I'm going to keep shooting 70% from the paint and fouling you every time I do it, chances are I'm going to beat you in that game. You got to play the percentages, and Shaq is just one of these guys. And because of his ability, you ultimately have to double team him, which will create open shots for other shooters out there. It's not like as if Shaq will play and he'll have no 3-point shooters on his team. That's not what we're talking about. But anyway, listen to Shaq. It brought back a memory of my favorite basketball player of all time, which was Kobe Bryant, right? And it took me back to the 2009 series, when the Lakers were playing against the Denver Nuggets. And going into that series, the Denver Nuggets were a real threat. They had Chauncey Billups, Kenyon Martin, Carmelo Anthony, J.R. Smith, Delonte West. I think what's the coach's name? Carl. I can't remember his name. Carl. I can't remember his name, but they had a really great coach. And going into that series, a lot of people felt, including Charles Barkley at the time, that team could topple them. And if you watch footage from that series, you will notice that every single game, Kobe Bryant was being guarded by Delonte West. He was the primary defender. And Delonte West was literally trying to injure. Forget about foul. Forget about like foul Kobe. He was literally trying to injure Kobe that entire series. And it got so bad. In fact, in Game 3, when they went to to Denver, because the Lakers won Game 1 and I think they dropped Game 2, so they needed to get Game 3. Kobe Bryant was going up for a layup, and this dude pushed him in the air. To this day, he calls that defense. I don't know what type of defense that is, that you're pushing a guy in the air while he's in the air flying towards the basket. And as I was watching Kobe's countenance throughout that entire series, what really stood out to me was that at no point in time in that series, at least during the games, did I ever see Kobe confront him or react to him. I never saw Kobe overreact. And as a Kobe Bryant fan, and I'm sure there's a lot of Kobe fans and Laker fans, I'm sure you guys are infuriated, like, what's going on? Why didn't they do something? Why didn't the ref do something? Right? I'm sure all of us were pissed off. But Kobe just literally played through it, it seemed like. He just played through it. The guy tried to injure him on many occasions. Go look at the footage. Every time Kobe was shooting, Delonte West would literally be walking under him. I don't know what type of defense that is, right? Same type of Zaza Pachulia defense that he was playing, right? And what became clear was that he couldn't guard him conventionally. So he had to resort to doing that. Now, Kobe was able to overcome that situation because Delonte West, I believe, was playing with total desperation. And ultimately, the Lakers went on to win that series. So what's the takeaway from all of that? The takeaway is sometimes you just got to play through things, right? Sometimes you got to understand that certain things are par for the course, that the game is not going to be 100% perfect. And I think that's what Shaq was talking about. Guys just constantly whining and complaining. Now, some people will obviously take issue with Shaq had to say, but that's my takeaway. So really, I'm going to hand it over to the audience now. The question is, what do you think What do you think about the comments that Shaq had to make about the current era players today? Do you think this is the Cupcake era? Whatever you guys think. Please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch y'all on the next episode. Peace.